we are so proud to introduce, but I'm going to save that for a guest of ours. So World Affairs Council is proud to be in partnership with the local alumni chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority for tonight's event. And now I'm going to hand over the proper introductions for our speakers to Ms. Andrea Houston. Oh, there you are. Thank you so much. We welcome you.
Good evening, everyone, and I would like to say welcome and thank you on behalf of the Louisville Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We are a public service organization committed to service locally, nationally, and of course, internationally. I would like to thank the World Affairs Council for partnering with us and bringing this topic to you. We are here tonight in support of what the World Affairs Council of Kentucky and Southern Indiana is doing, and we're proud members. So on that note, I'm going to introduce my soror, Melissa King, who is going to introduce our guest speaker and the moderator. Thank you.
Good evening. I first want to make mention and introduce to you Ambassador Pamela Bridgewater, who has enjoyed a celebrated career as a United States Foreign Service officer and has led diplomatic efforts that have helped change the course of world events. Her overseas tours include Belgium, the Bahamas, Jamaica, and Ghana, to name a few. I'll also mention that she is a member of the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She's also served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of State of African Affairs and was the first African American woman to serve as a principal officer in Durban, South Africa. Welcome, moderator, Ambassador Pamela Bridgewater.
She's a real ambassador.
Now I want to tell you about our superstar who's going to bring the meat and gravy for tonight. Diplomat Daniel Foote is a native of Syracuse, New York. He attended high school in Buffalo area and earned a BA in economics from Columbia University in the city of New York, where he's an avid sportsman in both varsity football, track and field. And he shared a little bit of that with us earlier today. Recently retired, he was named the United States Special Envoy for Haiti in 2021 after a stint on the faculty of the Marine Corps War College. He served as the U.S. Ambassador to the Republic of Zambia from 2017 to 2020. At that time of his appointment, Daniel Foote was the acting Assistant Secretary of State, Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, where he has also been the Deputy Assistant Secretary. Known for his leadership, acumen, judgment, and communication skills, he has held diverse senior foreign policy positions. His diplomatic and leadership tools were owned directing several of the United States government's largest overseas programs in the world's most challenging and high-threat environments. And we'll talk about that as we get into Haiti. I want to welcome Ambassador Daniel Foote.
Thank you very much. My clock, I don't have all night. You guys don't want to listen to me all night. Good evening, everybody. Who here has been to Haiti? Mes amis. The Haitians, too. I see a bunch of people from Haiti in the room. Okay, those of you who haven't been to Haiti, what's one thing that you always hear reported when you see Haiti on the news? About where that country stands in this hemisphere. What do they always say? It's the poorest country in the hemisphere, right? Tonight we're going to talk about a little bit how Haiti has, its relationships with its partners has always been riven by race, continues to be. We're going to talk about how Haitians have never really had the self-dignity of being able to choose their own leaders. And I believe that, and as do most Haitians, that now is an opportunity to rewrite the historical wrong and let the Haitians set the social political foundation for their country to move forward rather than others to do so. So what I'm going to do first is just give you a little quick historical context that many of you have already heard before. Haiti is on the island that Christopher Columbus discovered in 1492, and it wasn't long thereafter that indigenous people were being slaughtered and dying of smallpox and stuff on the island. Over the course, until their independence, Haiti was ruled by Spain, France, Spain, and then since their independence, we have had England, the US, Germany, Spain, France in their meddling over the years. It's revolution. It's the only slave colony ever to become independent. These are the only guys who fought off the shackles of slavery, the Haitian people. And they're very proud of that, and they should be. But it was a difficult revolution. It lasted for 13 years, from 1791 to 1804. Anybody know who we think about as kind of the father of Haiti? Go ahead, don't be shy, you can be wrong. Toussaint Louverture, right? Voilà. Haiti was declared independent on January 1 or 2, 1804. Toussaint Louverture was already dead. Haiti's independence was really confusing. Louverture and many of the other freedom fighters fought for the French, they fought for the Spanish, they fought for the mulattoes, and they fought for the slaves. And so Toussaint was dead in France. The French had taken him there. And then the first president when Haiti was independent was Jean-Jacques Dessalines. He named himself emperor for life, and he lasted almost 2 years before he was killed. And then there was a duel between the north and the south of the country, and you had a couple different emperors for life. And then finally, France recognized Haiti in 1825, which was a big thing. And France was the first major country to do so. They did it by holding the Haitians hostage, by moving an armada of warships into the Port-au-Prince harbor and demanding 100 million francs for them to recognize France, which they paid, which Jean-Bertrand Aristide got in trouble in the early 2000s by saying, that's about $400 million nowadays or more, and that would be very helpful to Haiti. So, anybody know when the US first recognized Haiti? It was in 1825. And Haiti became independent, and then they helped El Liberador, the liberator of South America, Simón Bolívar. So Haiti played a huge role in the freedom from colonial rule here in this hemisphere. The US did not recognize Haiti because Thomas Jefferson, and our policy is still a little Jeffersonian, we can talk about that later. Thomas Jefferson and his colleagues didn't want their slaves getting any ideas from the Haitian slaves. I mean, that's why we did not recognize Haiti, and we took some actions to actually try to keep the Haitians from coming to the United States and getting these ideas of freedom out. We finally recognized them in 1862, the Emancipation Proclamation. It took that for us to recognize Haiti. Between 1862 and the early 1900s, Haiti wasn't terribly stable, but it was more stable. There were a few uprisings where the peasants of Haiti beat off, the French, the Germans, the Spanish. They were really great guerrilla warriors, and they retreat into the hills, and people better be careful about the Haitians and push them too far, because they're at the point now where they've had enough of the international community meddling in their affairs. In 1915, Haiti in the early 20th century deteriorated a lot. And in 1950, the president of Haiti came out of the French embassy in Port-au-Prince and was torn limb from limb by the population. So we sent the Marines down, supposedly the US Marines, to restore the peace, get stability, and to administer Haiti. We took over the governance of Haiti from 1915 until 1934. We repatriated all of Haiti's gold to Citibank in New York, and we sent a bunch of Southern Marines to Haiti, resulting in extrajudicial killings, massacres, a lot of bad things. The Haiti occupation is not U.S.'s proudest moment and not the U.S. Marines' proudest moment. They left, and we sort of let Haiti rule itself from 1934 until the election in 1957 of Papa Doc Duvalier, the doctor. And when I first went to Haiti in 2010, and our Haitian friends of a certain age will verify this, many would tell me, oh, we miss the days of Duvalier and Papa Doc and Baby Doc. And I would be like, why? It's crazy. They were killing people. Well, the trash got picked up, and we didn't need a wall around our house, and our kids could go to school. But the problem with Duvalier is he was a genocidal dictator. And if you opposed him, best case, you'd get thrown into the National Penitentiary, which is a bad place in Haiti. Worst case, you'd be dead. A ton of Haitians of that period emigrated to the United States, more to Congo. He ruled until the early 70s when he died, and his 19-year-old idiot son, Jean-Claude Duvalier, assumed the emperor role of Haiti. The U.S. backed the Duvaliers 100%. Anybody know why? Think of the island north of Haiti. What island is that? Cuba, right? Yeah. So the United States, Duvalier, despite the fact he was getting all his medical attention in Havana and he had close ties with the Cubans, was outwardly an anti-communist. So the U.S. let him run his show in there. Finally, in '86, Baby Doc is forced into exile to Paris, and the Haitian civil society gets together and they rewrite a constitution. And they set up a provisional government with ties and representation. So everybody's kind of represented across the country. And they earn the people's trust and restore essential services, and they hold elections. And Jean-Bertrand Aristide is elected president in 1990. First democratically elected president in Haiti, but it is Haiti after all. And by 1991, he's deposed in a coup by the Haitian military. Many Haitians suggest that the U.S. led that coup. I wasn't there, I can't tell you, and I'm not sure who I believe on a lot of the things. But so you had a military government in Haiti. Bill Clinton gets elected in '92. He immediately puts Haiti under an embargo, which permanently eliminated the 250,000 formal sector jobs in Haiti. And he decimates the Haitian rice industry by subsidizing the U.S. And since then, we have forced Haitians to buy our rice. There's no more rice production in Haiti. And here's a story everyone needs to hear. In 1982, USAID, there was swine flu in the Dominican Republic. And USAID went down and we told the Haitians, you gotta kill your pigs. Well, can't we keep some? No, you gotta kill all your pigs, millions of pigs. And they're Haitian native pigs. They've been there since the beginning of time, right? We'll bring you these big, tough, strong American pigs, will be great. We made the Haitians kill all of their pigs. They're extinct now. We moved these big, strong Texas pigs down there and they all died. So that shows you of how our good intentions sometimes in Haiti have not worked very well. Clinton brings Aristide back in '94. Haiti was going really bad, and so we went in with 600 international police officers, started a Haitian force, the UN peacekeeping mission, which became MINUSTA, started, and Aristide was there. With the UN and everybody there, it was fairly stable. Aristide completed his term. We had a good transfer to power to his successor, René Préval, and then Aristide won the next election after Préval. And people quickly became fed up with him, and Haitians have learned that when things are going bad, the only thing that they can do is raise hell. That's the only way they can get attention and make things change. So that's what they were doing. In '04, again, depends on who you believe, Aristide was taken out of Haiti to South Africa for exile by the United States. We say we saved his life, we were trying, he wanted to go, etc. He says he went under duress and didn't want to leave. Regardless, we broke Haiti, we took the president out, we put another guy in. And then in 2010, we have the big earthquake, and that's where I started following Haiti, and many people, that was our first really brutal focus on Haiti. We sent 23,000 troops. The people in Haiti were fine. There was no violence. They were just looking for help and assistance. Within a couple days, they were back out selling in the streets, despite the fact the entire city was rubble. And we went in with big ideas and our Congress pledged over $5 billion. The international community pledged $14 billion. And in 2010, shortly after the earthquake, and it happened in January, about 10 months later, Haiti held elections. Like many countries, if you don't win 50% or more of the vote in the first round, the top two finishers go to another round of elections. So in 2010, the top two finishers were Mirland Manigat, a woman, first woman running for president, and Jude Celestin. However, Hillary Clinton liked Sweet Mickey. Sweet Mickey is this crazy Haitian compas singer, which is a type of Haitian song, who wore a pink dress at his performances. The Haitians loved him at the time. Hillary decides, we can work with him. So we, behind the scenes, rigged it so Jude Celestin, the second vote getter, came out, and the third one came in. And guess who won the election? Sweet Mickey. Yeah, baby. And his wife's American. He speaks perfect English. He lived in the U.S., worked construction for many years, had a home until he let it get foreclosed on right after he got elected president. And for his first year or so, he worked very closely with us because there was a ton of reconstruction. There was a ton of stuff going on. Bill Clinton was going down there with George W. Bush every month. I had to give him all my armored cars. And after about a year, Michel Martelly, Sweet Mickey, started to try to use the police to go after his political opponents, a la Duvalier and the Papadoc and Baby Doc. And the police director general quit his job, guy I know very well to this day, and he started becoming a corrupt, kleptocratic, autocratic leader. He didn't hold elections, his brother-in-law trafficked an inordinate amount of cocaine through Haiti. It was just bad things were going on. However, he's a popular guy and a populist. He couldn't run again by the Constitution, so he set up Jovenel Moïse as his successor. He was elected in 2015, I think. And Moïse came in, and first thing he did was, like, Martelly wanted him to keep the seat warm for 5 years. First thing he went was like this to Martelly. He's like, this is my seat now. And then he made Martelly look like Winston Churchill because he let Parliament lapse immediately, didn't hold elections, governed by presidential decree only, and he aligned himself with the gangs. And that was his fatal sin. He used the gangs as his security, and he used the gangs to send political statements, including a couple of massacres. It was getting so bad that in early 21, a group of civil society and opposition politicians in Haiti started a dialogue process at the Montana Hotel in Port-au-Prince. It's called, and they came to a political agreement. Yeah, it's called the Montana Accord. Having lived in Haiti and sort of having this built-in Haitian BS detector in my head, I told my friends who knew Haiti, they will never get a political agreement. They've never got one before. And after I visited the first time, I came back and I said, I think they're going to get one because they're so desperate and so angry. And sure enough, they did. But I'm getting off of my organization here. Okay. So it's so bad, people are already trying to talk about how we move forward and restore democracy to Haiti. July 7th, 2021, Jovenel Moïse gets shot 13 times. They gouge his eye out. They shoot his wife in his bedroom in Port-au-Prince. Foreigners, Colombians, with a couple of Haitians with them. How do you think that made the Haitians feel? I went down there. They were so, embarrassed. You know, someone had come into their bedroom and violated them, and they still feel that way. So Jovenel got assassinated. Because of COVID and the fact that there wasn't a parliament, the prime minister at the time was in an acting capacity, and he could not be, approved by parliament or whatever, because they didn't exist. So, but that's okay. He was the acting prime minister, and he said, I got everything under control, et cetera. 10 days later, the US, the UN, and our other Western donor nations released a press release saying from here on in we will work with another gentleman, Dr. Ariel Henry, as the Prime Minister of Haiti. And that was the day after I accepted the job, and I was like, oh, that's gonna make my life hard. And I went to Haiti, and everybody who is involved in politics were the same people that were there 9 years ago. I know them, they're my friends, I know who's lying to me, I know who's telling me the truth. And they all said, Dan, listen to us, just stop. And I was like, no, you gotta have elections. And I was like, okay. And it was largely because I felt guilty because I sat in the room when we planned the reconstruction, $5.1 billion in Haiti, and there were no Haitians in the room. And I can remember leaning over to the ambassador and saying, there's no Haitians in the room, this is not gonna work. And he kind of looked at me, it was run out of Washington, the reconstruction, but we did not take Haitian input. So I go back 9 years later to the funeral after the assassination. After $5 billion, it's 100 times worse. So did our reconstruction plan work? It failed miserably. So I now know how not to fix Haiti, which is how the US is still trying to fix Haiti. This is how not to fix Haiti. That's how we're still trying to go. This prime minister, Haitians have never agreed on anything in their life, except that this political thing, and that Ariel Henry can't be the prime minister. It's amazing. I've never seen them coalesce around anything like that. So they have a political agreement, a political accord, but the US is insisting that Ariel Henry be part of the accord. Oh, I forgot to tell you, he's a suspect in the assassination. Oops. Yeah, he took 12 phone calls from the intellectual author of the assassination before and after, and the guy was at his house a couple times. And he's never answered for that, and the US has never asked him to answer for that. So that's a complicated situation. What's the way out? I contend, and I've seen us go in well-intentioned every time. We go in as a US government well-intentioned. We try to set the conditions so that all of our wonderful American humanitarians and faith-based organizations can go down and help Haiti. But every time we get it wrong because this guy who is the acting prime minister, they switched to him because he went in and said, I'll do what you want. I'll take your deportees. And that's not what the Haitian people want to hear. What's the way out? The way out, I don't think Haiti can ever improve, and it's gotten to a point where it's unrecognizable as a Western Hemisphere country. It's like Somalia. I've been to Somalia. I've been to Peshawar, Pakistan. It's similar to that because the security's so bad. If we don't allow them to come up with their political solution, with this guy, without this guy, it doesn't matter, it will continue to deteriorate. He can hold elections. The problem is the Haitians will not accept them, so we're wasting our time. We'll go back to anarchy after that. And the hard part is getting the Biden administration to understand and realize this. And this is not Dan Foote talking. This is 12 million Haitians talking, really. I'm telling you what the Haitians tell me. I mean, I'm smart enough to draw my own conclusions, but I've drawn the same one. We won't be able to improve the place. We're building a skyscraper on sand if we don't have a political thing. Look at it this way. We have intervened in the last 40 years like 4 or 5 times. Each time it has gotten worse exponentially. The Haitians could not mess it up near as much as we can. So I think I will stop there and will engage this lovely audience here. Ambassador.
We'll have a little conversation first, then we'll engage in the audience. Here's some water for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You should be thinking of good questions, too, because I will answer questions. Honestly, and something I meant to say, I'm going to say some stuff that's troubling tonight from a racial perspective in the United States. I believe it's true. I don't necessarily believe it's purposeful, but it really doesn't matter if it's purposeful or not anymore at this point in time. So please, these are my opinions, and I'm also will give you some very troubling ways that we think about Haiti and making foreign policy. But you need to know that. Everybody needs to know. So, hi, Ambassador.
Well, let me just thank you very much. Let's thank Ambassador Foote for these very important comments and his perspectives, which are important because he's been there on the ground, as we say in the jargon. I want to also call your attention to an article in the New Yorker, March of this year, March 2020. Oh, it's not on? Oh.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's so the people in the room
Is
can
that
hear.
good? Can you? I'm used to
You're
having
good.
somebody do this.
Yeah, I'll do it for
I
you.
don't know how to do
I'm a
this thing.
rock and roll guy. You'll be fine. There you go.
Perfect. Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
There's an article in the March 2023 edition of the New Yorker, What's Next for Haiti, that really adds more meat to what Ambassador
great
Foote
article.
has said about the historical context, so I do commend it to you. It's great. And you opened up with talking about the fact that race relations have really governed our relationship, meaning the U.S., and I think the international partners' relations with Haiti. And I think we've got enough examples to underscore that. A son of the Caribbean soil, the Honorable Robert Nestor Marley, better known as Bob to many, wrote and sang about the fact that a hungry man is an angry man. And we know that hunger, we know that health conditions, we know all of those things plague Haiti right now, and insecurity. So you talked about many of the conditions and the problems with U.S. policy. I know that there's to be some USAID is there with all of what it does and how it does. We have entities like the Catholic Relief Services, Catholic Services, the Lot Carry, and the SOS, many others. What would be your top priorities if you could say they gave you a blank tablet at the U.S. State Department for where we go now with Haiti? The top priorities, and of course we know it'll be working probably with our international partners. What would you give, let's say, the top 3, Ambassador?
Well, I've touched on the top 2. And the first one is a socio-political contract, a social contract between the people and a provisional government to help them choose their own leaders. If we don't do that, we're just going to keep fits and starts from instability to crisis to et cetera. And frankly, the security situation is so bad that on Maslow's pyramid, they can't get shelter or food, or because security's so bad. So security needs to be addressed. I am ideologically, as my Haitian friends know, opposed to a military intervention, but I'm not in Port-au-Prince. I'm not in Haiti, and I now recognize that my friends in Port-au-Prince are desperate and are gonna need some sort of assistance with these gangs outside of Haiti. But if anybody tries to do that with this illegitimate prime minister, it's a disaster waiting to happen, because first, American and international peacekeeping forces have never been very good at differentiating Haitians from one another, and the Haitian population reviles, hates Ariel Henry. If they see these soldiers down there supporting him, we may wind up fighting the very people we're going to help. And then after that, if you can get a sitting government, it's all the essential services. The kids with COVID and the security and all the other crises, they haven't gone to school since COVID started, or they just started in September, but they go one day, there's gunfire the next morning, they don't go, so education is critical. Fortunately, because of PEPFAR, George W. Bush's anti-HIV program that he started, Haiti has a very robust health infrastructure, but if the gangs don't let me drive on the roads, I can't access it. And that's a big issue with the health infrastructure. We really need to restore, not restore, because there wasn't one to start with. We need to let the Haitians choose a government that can govern that island without sticking our nose in there. And I'll share this one thing. Ariel Henry, the U.S. is requiring, there's like, oh, we want you to decide and get a consensus, but he has to be part of it. The last time I worked on a situation where we imposed a government of national unity, basically unanimous, which is broken by definition, was guess where? Afghanistan in 2014. Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Thank you for that. Gaining stability, we know, is probably the number one thing that has to happen right now, is there has to be a stable situation for health, education, and the like. Assuming that Haiti now has been able to have its own election determined by its own Haitian people, I think we may need to look at the whole notion of a truth and reconciliation, because there has been so much acrimony within the context of the Haitian people themselves. They've been, for whatever reasons, fighting against one another. What do you think the chances are for the establishment of a Truth and Reconciliation Commission?
I think at some point it may be necessary. It probably is necessary. I mean, the black people in this room understand this much better than me. But if we don't address, acknowledge, try to make try to create better equality now, we're in trouble. And Haiti is very similar. I'm sorry, what was your question?
I think the Truth and Reconciliation.
I mean, I think,
Yeah.
I think that's quite important. The issue is going to be Haitian-led development. So USAID can do wonderful things if they're focused on the right areas. And what we've never done, I was a Peace Corps volunteer. I was a really successful Peace Corps volunteer. I had like $25,000 over 2 years, and I made this place. I gave them water. I taught them how to grow chamomile. It was great. Then I was in Afghanistan with $5 billion a year, and I'm not sure I made a damn difference in Afghanistan. Community-based development, where we are there with the Haitians, asking them what they need and want, as opposed to telling them what they need or want, is how we will need to do redevelopment in Haiti, because our imposition of our brilliant American ideas work in America, but they don't work anywhere else, unfortunately.
Well, that's a great segue into my last area for our conversation, and that is the role of faith-based organizations and the role of non-government organizations that are represented, like the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, as I said, the Catholic Relief, the SOS, and many, many others. And the Lot Carey Foreign Mission has been in Haiti for 75 years. It's an organization founded by a black denomination, the Baptists. I'll put in a plug for that. My husband's here, I think, and he was former president of Lot Carey. But Lot Carey is there and has been there for 75 years. And 75 cents of every dollar that goes into Lot Carey goes to the work there, not for, administrative. And we know about administrative costs,
right.
don't
That's
we,
the
Dan?
pool at my house and my Range Rover.
Well, that's between Dan and you.
It is.
But so, how do you see NGOs and faith-based working with Haitians as a way forward, really plowing more support and money to those and lobbying in the United States, our own congressional constituents?
Right.
We vote here. What do we do with Haiti with our votes?
You're right, and I think that's a really important piece of it, is making sure our executive, our legislators have a pretty good idea what's going on, but our executive does the right thing. That's a critical piece in the puzzle. I'm having a bad day.
That's
from my
okay.
football career.
That's all right.
Just,
How we can really better engage or
so
let the...
post-earthquake, the NGOs were critical. There was a ton going on, and there are a number of, very few 75 years, but a number of long-standing faith-based or U.S. humanitarian-based organizations still in Haiti, despite the fact that the Americans can't come and go very much, but the Haitian people who work with them are still doing it there. The issue is we're going to have to shift the dynamic a little bit. So just going down on a church trip to build houses makes us feel great, but somebody needs to make sure that kind of fits into a bigger picture. I think how we'd like to see it is the Haitian government is capable of kind of coordinating assistance and managing, if we ever empower them to do that, right? We never have in the past, and because it hasn't been community-based, a lot of it has been well-intentioned, but its long-term impact sometimes, particularly when there's no political stability, makes it very difficult.
I think those are certainly very, very key and essential points. We have to engage and we have to work with the Haitian community. We learned this morning at our discussion that 3 university presidents in the United States today are Haitian-born. So we know that Haitians can do anything if they have the opportunity to do it. So education, health, food and sanitation are critical for rebuilding a nation. So the role for all of us in this room and others, I think, is very clear. And with that, I'm going to then thank you and ask our wonderful audience if they will stand, give their name and their question, and not a comment that's going to take 40 minutes, okay? Because I'm going to cut you off.
She will,
All
too.
right. I see you're ready to go. Please stand up and introduce yourself. See, please, the microphone.
My name is Pastor Silaire. I'm the coordinator of the South Central Campus, meeting in Powell State, located in Mississippi, Alabama, and Northwest Florida. I'm representing the Asian and the Africans coordinator in those 5 states. I'm representing the Haitians. I wanted to thank you for what you have done for Haiti. And I meet with you this morning, and we have lunch together. It's a blessing. Thank you very much again. Then use a question or comment?
A question.
Question, okay.
Short comment, but question, please, while we have the ambassador.
What is your plan for this meeting? Is it to gather ideas or to take
My
input?
So my plan is to inform everybody as to my views on the situation in Haiti, my views as to how our government could better address it, and that's basically all I can do. I'm not a special envoy anymore.
If I could just add that the World Affairs Council that is organizing this along with the Delta Sigma Theta sorority wants to bring the world to Kentucky. Because Dan and I know very well that U.S. citizens too frequently know too little about the rest of the world. And we're just a part
I
of
used
that.
to be that way.
And we've got to learn about what's going on around us so that we can impact it for good. But we need to know the truth. We need to know all the facts. So that's why Dan's here. That's why the World Affairs Council is here. That's why we want people to join the World Affairs Council.
Great plug.
Thank you for bringing this discussion
Yes.
around Haiti. But I wanted to say two things and I will sit down.
Sure.
The number one thing that Haitians need is not a leader that is throwing to them. Like you said, they need to be able to have their own leader that they choose. The second thing that they need is help to rebuild.
Absolutely.
Help to rebuild. There is a hope. That's the big, huge thing about that. You can tell. You come and help us rebuild. We destroy it again. You see the pattern? Why is that?
Why is?
Why you come and help us rebuild? You start rebuilding.
Because, why do I, Dan Foote, or the United States?
Now, why you think the people destroy why what you just feel false?
To show us that the people don't want our solutions anymore, pretty much, right?
Yes, but I want to say more than that. The reason why they destroy is because it's like you have your kids, they talking to you, you don't want to listen, they acting up. So their way to make people listen to them, they act up. Okay, you don't want to listen to me, I'm going to destroy what you just did.
Right, as I said
Well, he
before,
said that.
raising
Ambassador
hell
Foote
is
said that.
really the only thing you can do.
Yes, they just want you to listen.
They want to be heard. They
Exactly.
want to be heard.
But there's something coming. It's a woman. And you may hear even some Haitians say that. Don't be surprised. I think if America come and occupy Haiti, we would be better off because they will put jobs and other things. You know what they mean? All they mean is that we just need jobs. That doesn't mean they need America to put the job. They need you to come and establish work for them and let them lead.
With all due respect, it'll never happen.
Exactly.
It'll never happen.
Exactly.
We need the Haitians to step up and do this because the citizens of the United States are not willing to take that on. That's the problem. No. So our politicians will never do that. We would have done it 100 years ago if we were able to do that.
And the other thing that they do wrong for the country.
Monsieur, I have to thank you.
Yeah.
Because we got more questions.
Yeah, it's time for other people. We got
have to
100
give
people
others.
here. Thank you.
Merci, monsieur. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
I think one of the things you mentioned quite succinctly was the fact that the country's had freedom for 8 generations, 200 years, and not created any leadership for any period of time. Whoever comes in gets thrown out, next one comes, gets thrown out. How do you create leadership locally within the country?
Let them choose their leaders. That's really my hypothesis here. Because they throw out all these leaders because they don't want them, because someone else is like, here, he's in charge, he's in charge.
Right. So I think that message came out quite clear, that unless that happens, there is no hope.
I agree.
There is
And
no
I think
hope at all.
many Haitians would agree with it.
Right. And so I think that perhaps the way to look at it is separate tactical versus strategic. One's short term, one's long term.
You never worked for the U.S. government, did you? No, that makes a ton of sense, and I agree. Right now, with all the crises going on in the world, our guys in Washington aren't taking the time to think about Haiti enough, and they're just kind of hoping it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. One of the big reasons I think that our policy continues to fail is we have never updated it from the Jefferson days. Like, we don't want our slaves getting any ideas from these people. And even today, with a black guy in charge of the Western Hemisphere in the State Department, and he doesn't set all policy, but our policy goes back to what I've heard in hushed tones in the hallways of the embassy and the State Department, never in a big meeting or anything, but when we make policy on Haiti, we say, these dumb black people can't govern themselves. And that's part of the racism that I'm talking about. And if we don't let these people who are much smarter and harder working than me, that's a low bar, obviously. But if we don't do that, we're going to face, we're already facing an incredible catastrophe 400 miles from our shores. And with Russia potentially in there poking around and China potentially in there poking around, this could be a nightmare. And not just for the U.S., okay, from a U.S. national security perspective, certainly. Imagine the Haitians' lives we're playing with 12 million people who did nothing to deserve that. 1 minute they're sitting on their farm in West Africa, and 500 years later they're in the worst possible situation on earth.
Well, certainly we know that our development assistance is not perfect. But imperfect as it may be, there are some nuggets that help stabilize people, feed them, give them things that they can do to help. And we got some questions over here, so I want to make sure that as many people. Madame from SOS, would you please?
So you're making an assumption that if they had the opportunity to have their own election, that the results would be accepted, which has not been a pattern.
Never happened in Haiti.
No.
What do we have to lose?
Okay. Okay, so you think they would accept it?
We would provide, and the international community will provide funds and technical assistance. We know how to do elections and to do this.
We're not getting even very good at that here in our own United States.
No. But the international community knows how to hold elections. The problem is Haiti always wants a Cadillac when they could use a bicycle to get by on their elections, and then that we always let them get played with. So I am making that as I'm not assuming that the Haitians will do it right. I'm certain that the internationals will do it wrong because we always have.
Mm-hmm. Right? Question in the back.
Hi.
Please tell us who you are, please.
Kennedy Richardson. I just had a question, I guess because I keep thinking about all the governments you said that have been in Haiti and how the United States keeps trying and failing. Do you know why the United States is so adamant about keeping a hand on Haiti? Like, if it hasn't worked and we're just warning, then why?
So in my lifetime, the United States' biggest policy concern with Haiti has been illegal migration. And in the 80s and 90s, the boat people washing up on Florida from Haiti and Cuba was a political nightmare. And that was Biden's political nightmare when he came in, but he just ignored it, and it's going on. We got the boat people who continue to go on. So as a result, what's our priority in Haiti? It's stability. It's not democracy. It's not, a thriving economy. It's not good health care, education. It's stability. So we think we can go down there with some batons and guns and whip them into shape and tell them what to do and then leave and everything will be good. That's not how it works in Haiti. Did I answer that? Thank you.
Other questions? Yes, monsieur?
Hello, Ambassador Foote. Nice to see you again.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. In January, the U.S. government announced a program that would allow Haitians to come to the U.S. for 3 years. This program is very popular in Haiti, but it is also affecting the labor force, the police force, and the young professionals in Haiti all are moving to the U.S. Now, do you think in that instance this program is helping Haiti or hurting Haiti?
I think the program is hurting Haiti for a number of reasons. A, the reason the program was set up was to avoid processing asylum claims. which every country has an obligation to hear and process asylum claims, because people come to you in danger for your lives. If you do that, you're refouling people. So that's part of the reason. The brain drain from Haiti has always been a major issue, and we need, the one thing I haven't seen in Haiti that concerns me is I haven't seen a lot of young leadership, despite the fact most of the population is young. It's all these people my age who have been doing this for so long, we failed so long. But yes, I think we're doing a disservice, because we're processing people. Nowadays, a Haitian to get a visa to the United States needs a sponsor, which means they need access to somebody with money, right? Which most Haitians do not have, unlike some other communities. In the past, they could go to the border and claim asylum. And we got to say, okay, we'll let you in and we'll process your asylum claim, et cetera. We no longer do that. And we're using this to sort of say, maybe they won't notice that we're not processing asylum claims, we're still doing something. For the average Haitian who is at risk of being killed by a gang or needs medical care, whatever, they have no chance to get a visa via that sponsor program.
One of the other things that the Haitians face, many of them, is that you have to have a Haitian passport, to get that going.
It's almost impossible.
And it's
You got to
very
pay
difficult to get.
$300 right now. You need to bribe the foreign
Hard to
ministry
get a passport.
$300 to get a passport currently.
And then there's a long queue, like it is waiting for.
$300 will put you right to the front. I learned last week, actually.
Another question? Yes, please stand and tell us who you are.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Palacios. My question, as someone who works with the Haitian, has the honor of working with the Haitian population very closely, what is the best way to accompany those who are making today the United States their home, more specifically Kentucky? And how do we best inform them of the right information of what their needs are, so that they can best accompany their family back in Haiti and not feel that despair being away from home?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, I just want to take a stab at that because I'm not a Louisvillian, but I've met a lot of people who have immigrated here or come here, and we've worked with them. And this is supposed to be a compassionate city, okay? So I think that one of the things that all of us can do as residents of Louisville is to learn where they are, our immigrant communities, our populations. They're so rich in what they can provide us and share with us and what we can learn from them. So I would think that within the context of our own faith-based organizations, our churches, our civic organizations, there's many opportunities. Start with this World Affairs Council, because we can direct you to where you can go. So all of you who we haven't seen before that we're delighted to see this evening, check in with the World Affairs Council, check in with Delta Sigma Theta. I'm going to make sure they have information about, you mentioned about teaching English as a second language, so that those who speak Creole and nothing else, they can navigate and learn what's here in Louisville for them. That's what we can do. That's something that we can do hands-on right here in Louisville.
Agreed. And I just pile on to say those communities, rather than try to reinvent the wheel from the beginning, you're already doing this to a certain extent, but lean on your Haitian community instead of trying to do the perfect pamphlet in Creole, which nobody's going to read anyways. Lean on your Haitian community like you lean on the Cubanos and everything.
We have another question? Yes.
John Follinger, Kentucky Refugee Ministries.
Yes.
I read the article in the New Yorker, A Path Forward for Haiti, that Ambassador Lima referenced. And the article mentioned some urban problems in Port-au-Prince, a city built for 200,000 now, a lot of rural migration, and over 3 million, the concentration of majority of criminal gangs in Port-au-Prince, and mentioned the decimation of the Creole pig and the rural poverty that drew many migrants. The article, the author, and had some quotes endorsing the relocation of Haitians' capital to OCAP to a
Cap Haitien, right?
And you studied economics at Columbia, you worked in development. How viable of an idea, what do you think of that? And
So, I get the theory, right? Port-au-Prince, it's particularly post-earthquake, right? First of all, there was no urban planning. It's 500 years old. You've never seen a city like it. Let me just put it that way. Cap Haitien is much nicer. It's easier to get to from the States. It's got a good port. It's got good beaches. But if Ataturk wanted to move Turkey's capital from Istanbul to Ankara, he had the resources to do it. If Brazil wanted to move it from Rio, I think, to Brasilia, they had the resources to do it. Haiti doesn't have the resources to do anything right now. And that is where the international community and the faith-based organizations are going to have to support the Haitian way forward, to partner with them. And look, I was in the Peace Corps, and I went to Bolivia, and at the beginning, everyone was like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm supposed to show you guys how to be farmers. And they're like, wait a minute, we're all farmers already, and you're from New York. So you kind of have to learn that lesson, and USAID hasn't really done that yet, but there has been a huge call in recent years to kind of restructure the way governmental foreign assistance happens, and I think it's important for all of you humanitarians here to continue to do it, but to make sure you got Haitian partners down there that you're working through, not just with.
That's a wonderful comment. Again, I'll keep plugging Lock Carrier because they have Haitian partners there. Question, sir.
Yes, I am displaying my ignorance, but I'd like to know why there's such a big difference between the two countries that are on that island. What is the background?
There's a lot of. So I lived in both. I was the deputy chief of mission at both Santo Domingo and Port-au-Prince. 40 to 45 years ago, Haiti was much nicer than the Dominican Republic, and people on both sides of the island will tell you that. That was the Papa Doc days. The economy was better. Remember, Santo Domingo had an occupation of U.S. Marines, I think, in '65, and got rid of a dictator. Tourism is a big part of it, right? Punta Cana, which is on the eastern end of the island, 30 years ago was just a bunch of fields. And this guy, Frank Rainieri, was like, why don't we build a resort? And they did, and they came. It's like amazing. So their tourism sector is amazing, and they've never had, like they grow a bunch of sugar and rice, and they've never had subsidies, so they can export to the United States. And they've had good leadership, I think, post-Trujillo. And they want to be close partners with the U.S. because there's as many Dominicans living outside of the Dominican Republic in the U.S. as there are in the Dominican Republic. So another part of it is desperation, right? If you fly over the island, you've heard this before, on the Dominican side of the border, there's trees. On the Haitian side, there's no trees. Why? The people needed to cut the trees down to cook their dinner. Right? And one source of jobs, if the resources are there for Haiti, which would be incredible, is a reforestation campaign. But Haitians don't have the resources to pay for it. I don't have the resources to pay for it. And so there's a lot of thought that needs to go into this. But the days of big Uncle Sam deciding what's best for Haiti, I think are over in the mind of the Haitian people right now. And if we keep trying it, I fear that we're going to see the Haitian people really rise up. And this is not just going to be protests anymore.
I need somebody to tell me about the time. I don't have a, where are we?
7:07.
Oh, okay. One more question, and then I'll close out.
Excellent.
One question, please. Yes, thank you. Please stand and give me your name, sir or ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Ambassador Daniel Foote, for everything you have done in Haiti.
What's your name?
My name is Franz. And
Hi, Zanmi. Hi, Zanmi.
Hi, Zanmi. So So, everyone knows how insecurity affects all Haitians right now. Include I am a victim of it. So everyone like has family in Haiti right now. So everyone is concerned about like the insecurity in Haiti. And one of the one of my biggest problem, my biggest question is always Haiti doesn't produce any arms, any weapon. So most of the weapons, when they get them, it's always made in USA.
All of them.
So how can the American government prevent this weapon from getting from here
Easy.
to Haiti?
Easy. But we need a reliable, trustworthy partner in Haiti. But we could easily, we possess the tools and the capacity to monitor that port and the airport and all those ports to make sure that doesn't happen. But when you have corrupt guys in power like Sweet Mickey and now Ariel Henry, he lets the guys bribe him to let the weapons in. So if you have a reliable partner, the U.S. and the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency and DHS and FBI, we could shut that down pretty quick if we really wanted to. It would take some resources, but not, I'm not talking about gazillions of dollars here. It could be done if we wanted to. Does anybody know the Episcopal Church? And apologize to any Episcopalians here in the room tonight, but in Haiti, they got caught smuggling weapons into Haiti. Can you imagine? But I guess in Haiti, a Catholic priest was the president, and even he became corrupt. So that was Aristide, by the way.
Well, on that note, I want to thank Ambassador Foote, but I want to leave us on a positive note about Haiti, because we talked about the Dominican Republic and Haiti and why one has trees and the other, and we know all the problems. But I want to say that those of you who haven't visited Haiti, as Ambassador has said, there's a lot of beauty in Haiti amidst all the other problems. The art, the culture, the music, they're rich, they're enlightening, they're uplifting, and we can help Haiti do what Haiti can do best in all of its. And someone asked me today, does Haiti make rum? I said, darn good rum.
Oh,
great
Barbancourt,
rum.
5 étoiles.
It's
5
very
stars.
good. So, anyway, I'm going to turn it back over to my sorority sister for the closeout. And thank you, Ambassador,
Yeah,
so much.
let me thank everybody. It was great. Thank you for your patience. And now is really an opportunity for Haiti to be able to hit reset. The U.S. picked the horse right now. They don't want to back off. They're going to have to eventually, because he's done nothing in a year and a half except let it deteriorate. And the more of us that know about Haiti and are kind of rowing in the same direction, the better our chance to give those 12 million wonderful people a chance. Thank you.
Ambassador Foote, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming to Louisville, Kentucky. So I want to share a little bit with you all today. So, you know, in light of what has happened in our city, Senator Gerald Neal was supposed to come tonight, and he wasn't able, so he came to lunch at Vincenzo's today, and I want to introduce you to Kentucky's newest colonel.
I'm one too.
It was presented to him in full. To all to whom these present shall come greetings. Know ye that the Honorable Daniel L. Foote is commissioned a Kentucky colonel. I hereby confer this honor with all rights, privileges, responsibilities thereunto appertain. And so you heard the analogy that he made with the horse, right? So he's already becoming a Kentuckian. So I want to take this time, I would like for all of the members of WCMA Sorority Incorporated, please stand.
Can the Jamaica chapter stand too? Thank you.
We have a red for you, which are sport enthusiasts, a little letter, and another from the Allison. On behalf of Harrisburg.
I love my Louisville slugger. Look at that.
Thank you for partnering with us to bring this important topic to our city, because there is so much more we can do, and our organization intends to do just that. And so thank you.
Very good.
Well, I'll be very brief, but my name is Liliana. I'm the Executive Director of the World Affairs Council of Kentucky and Southern Indiana. And I just want to say it was such a pleasure to partner with the Delta Sigma Theta Sisters sorority and the Louisville chapter. They've been so responsive, and they really have shown compassion for this particular program. And the other thing is, I think we all think alike, because I was wondering why we were all wearing red and black.
Subliminal.
Just wait.
But I think I've forgotten myself to this. But, so minds think alike. But what I really want to emphasize is Ambassador Bridgewater, who is such a beloved member of this community, and a wonderful board member who's been with us when she retired and came to Louisville, and came with Reverend Alford here. I don't know where he is. And she's really been a wonderful force to kind of drive home her message that she's been saying, is that we really need to have much more informed public in our local communities. And this kind of partnership gives our organization, the World Affairs Council, a chance to really highlight why international issues are local issues, right? We don't always think about that. Oftentimes people think about international issues, foreign policy, as something that others do and not what we engage in. So this kind of forum is really a first step to kind of get you involved, at least make yourself much more informed of what is happening, the historical, the very, very, very complex world that we live in, that it's not a black and white solution problem that we always face. So I really appreciate having the opportunity with the DST group, with the, bringing Ambassador Foote, who I just threw out a message on LinkedIn because I could not find him anywhere else after his retirement.
She usually calls
And
me.
he really kindly responded and thought we were legitimate. So thank you for responding and coming. And lastly, I just want to say, we are a nonprofit organization, and if this is the first time you are attending a program, we hold this series almost 9 times a year, almost every month except for the summer. So I really encourage you to think about signing up, get our newsletters, and consider joining as a member, and support us, but also support your own continued education and about global issues. So thank you very much for coming tonight, and thank you both for
Thank you. She's amazing. She's wonderful.
She is.
She's phenomenal.
She is, and thank you so much. You being here made this much easier, and thanks so much for participating.
Oh,
it's
well.
much easier than me standing up here on the lectern or something like
Well,
that.
the funny thing about this, I call the slugger